Nah, for real. See, and that's the value in relationships right there. You got to be able to tell your friends what they need to hear.
Okay. I like this segue.
Talk to us. Let's hear it.
You're annoying.
So let's talk about relationship values.
Nice.
Okay, not too much on the. Ooh.
Not too much on the segue.
I give you 10 out of 10 on the segue.
I definitely want to hear y'all take on that. So, like, what are y'all take on just general? This can be, you know, families, friendships, romantic. What do you feel like brings value to a relationship?
Don't everybody jump at once.
I'll go first. I mean, I will speak on, obviously, like more of boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. I think that relationships mean a lot. I feel like you got to get to really know that person, but honestly respect that person. You know, we live in a day and age now, and even me being out in L.A., I've seen a lot of people, like, they dating for pockets, not dating for the love. Yeah. You know, there's guys that are provider. There's guys that really want to see their girl grow, but the girl don't want to see them grow. They want the finished product, at least in my eyes. I'm not saying all women, because there's a lot of strong, beautiful women out there that really want to hold their man down. But I will say the value of relationships is real keen, like real key, because understanding, communication, and resiliency in a relationship, I feel like, are three key things. Don't give up on that person. He might not be perfect. No one's perfect in this world, but that value that you have for him, like for me personally, I want a girl that physically and emotionally believes in me, believes that what we got, because let me lead. Let me be that, in a sense, provider, not just with my pockets, but with the knowledge, the wittiness, the way we should carry ourselves, because we're a team, you know. So, and I think a lot of people lose sight of that. I mean, yeah, there's girls that want guys that make $100,000 a year. Like, yeah, that's cool and all, like, but even
over 6 foot,
over 6 foot,
200,000,
you know. So it's like, yeah, it's like
6-figure income.
It's not realistic.
It's not. It's delusional.
Yeah.
But you know, for me personally, I like my women. I value my women. I think there's just a little misunderstanding with some of them, that where, like, I know in my past relationships that, you know, some of them will feel like, oh, I feel like you're maybe a little too cocky, or you value me, but I may not see nothing great in you. And I'll be like, damn, you don't really see nothing great in me. Like, let's look at your ex. Like, not saying it like that, but let's see. Let's open up the book. If you want to open up the book, like,
it's not a comparison thing.
No, it's not. But sometimes you got to let them know, like, hey, baby, I'm somebody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's also one of them things where, like, if the last thing you ate was oatmeal, don't come and say my steak is nasty.
Exactly. You know. No, but that's true though. I'm trying to introduce you. I'm trying to introduce you to not only to get you some money, because obviously I'm in the media realm, the production realm. I can help generate money for you. I can help. If you have a business, let's get it. And not only am I going to help you with your business, I'm going to help market it, because I already know the marketing strategy. I know what gets people to look at you and be like, hey, I want to support this person, you know? So, but some girls aren't ready for a guy like me. And I say that confidently because a lot of girls that I date, unfortunately, they're not comfortable with themselves. And I've come to realize that, and we'll have conversations. I know girls say they want communication. They want everybody to be open. Me personally, like, hey, I want to be open with you, but I want you to really believe in me. Don't just be a person that, oh, he's good. He's a good guy. He's not. I am a good guy, but I'm not one of those. You ain't gonna play around with me. You ain't gonna play around with me. Like, I'm
pilling.
Yeah, like, I'm not blue pilling, but, like, you know, hey, I was raised by a single mother.
So when do you, with something like that, like, all right, don't play, because you said sticking in there, and I feel like that's a thing that a lot of women do have issues with. And when do you think is a good time to say when? Because me and my homegirl literally just had lunch today, and we were talking about, you know what I mean, being in relationships for a certain amount of years, and, like, getting to a point where you feel like, okay, I see something in you more than you see in yourself. And to what point do you be like, I see this potential in you. I'm putting a lot of energy into you that I could be putting into myself, but you're not really being receptive to it. How long should that go on? You know what I mean? Before you finally be like, okay, I'm just going to move on, let you do you. Hopefully you find yourself, you know, in your own space, because at this point I'm feeling drained.
I feel like that comes with communication.
Yeah.
But if,
No, but
if
if it
that-
gets communicated about, that's when you get drained.
yeah, now if you're telling the person like 15 times, like this is what I'm trying to get
Yeah.
through your
If
skull. I mean, I feel like that's the time he's not listening. So yeah, I mean, get up
Right.
out of there. But
It could also be about what you want. I mean, and also it could also be about what you're willing to accept as a person's flaw. You know what I mean?
mhm.
It's kind of like I'll make it physical. It's kind of like you date a fat dude. You've been with a fat dude for years, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you're like, I want you to lose weight. You got to start losing weight. You got to start. And it's like you've been dating a fat dude for years. We're like, is there things about his personality or who he is as a person that you feel you love more than him just being fat, or have you got to the point where him being fat is just a deal breaker? So that's something you have to figure out with yourself. Where like your friends ain't gonna give you the best advice because your friends don't gotta stay with that person.
Right. Well,
That's something you gotta stay with.
I'll give an example to give y'all a better perspective. So,
Nothing
like,
against fat people. I don't want fat people.
yeah, but I get what you're saying. Like,
Yeah,
you've been
shout
when
out
he was
fat
like this.
Heavy set, heavyweight. Yeah.
So here's an example so I can get a better perspective. And this is from, me and her stories. I don't want nobody to think I'm dissing them. But like, say you're with somebody for a certain amount of years. Y'all are growing through life, if, over the course of years. Like, things are different. You go from this space to this space. And now as a woman, you get to the point where you're like, okay, well, let's talk about our future. Like, are we going to start some businesses together? We want to build. We want to do this. Like, what does our future look like? When do we want to start talking about marriage? When do you think you want to have kids? And how are we going to create stability for ourselves? And it's like, oh, well, we got time to do that. Like, it just kind of keeps getting swept under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
So not like a trait that you're just like, ooh, I don't like that, but I let it go for years, and now I'm pressing the issue. It's just on some, okay, we've been together for a nice amount of years to where now it's time to start thinking about our future.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
not being reciprocated.
When it comes to that, if it's especially if it's a woman, you have a maternal clock where like, but yeah, if it comes to that where a woman, it's something where.
Not even just
in my
kids, just stability. Like,
or for a male,
what are we
or for a
doing in
male or
life?
woman,
Yeah.
if you get to a point where you want to have a family and the other person's like, I don't want to do it, then it's like that's something you have to figure out for yourself at a certain age. Absolutely, at a certain age.
So what I do now, and I'm not no relationship guru. Don't look to me for your relationship advice. But what I've done now is like, I feel like I really have been taking the advice of our elders. People always have said like, yo, you gotta see somebody through their seasons, like different seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and talking to different people. You like, I know in my past, man, some good cat. Boy, you had me 3 months. 3 months wrapped around your finger, and I'm like, all right, yeah, like where we about to go now?
Some good
But-
cat.
But on some real though, like lately I've been on some, I want to see you through different seasons in your life. I want to see you through like the season of you getting a new job, the season of you losing a job, the season of you like glowing up and you feeling like, yo, I really shouldn't even be talking to no dude like you. Because you ain't really even like the dudes in my inbox now, did they see me in Bahamas and Jamaica? Like, they on me. Like, I want to see you through all those different seasons so that I know that, like, this is the one. Like, recently, like, I spoke briefly about, like, the Crohn's and all that stuff, but whenever I was going through that situation, like, I definitely had, like, one of those, like stop and think moments where I'm like, hey, if I got, like, a situation that might need, like, care throughout my entire life, like, I might want to slow down on, like, just playing around with every different woman that I... Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I need somebody who's going, wipe my ass. If I need my ass wiped whenever I turn 70. Because we ain't getting no older, you know what I mean? Like
we ain't getting no younger.
Mhm.
We getting old as
oh,
hell.
damn, I said we ain't getting no older?
We getting old as
But
hell.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Like,
Forever
how
young.
long of a season? Because it's like you can see people growing, but as a person, like, if two people are growing at different rates, it doesn't mean that you're like, oh, no, I don't see nothing in you. But if you actually see something in a person and they're not receptive to it, or they don't really want to grow, or they're not taking steps to grow, like, when do you say when, you know?
Yeah.
Because if somebody's season lasts for 5 years versus a certain amount,
Yeah,
it's
nah,
like,
it's a
at
wrap.
this
You
point...
get 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't
Yeah,
7
I don't-
springs.
Exactly.
And it's
Somebody log ski. Talking about.
Is there? I mean, when it comes to emotions, I think everyone has a different measuring stick when it comes to emotions. So some people's are a lot shorter, some people's are a lot longer. So
For me, like, I just want to love you for your imperfections, personally. You know, I see the good in everybody, but I also want somebody that, like I always said, believe in me, but love me for my imperfections. Because personally, I want to grow. I see some of my friends get married. I want to get married. I want to start a family eventually. You know, well, I wouldn't say it's a downfall, but I chose to chase my career first. I chose to get all my degrees out the way first. So now I come to you, not a completed man, but a sustainable man, a sustainable, respectable man.
Yeah, you're not taking care of me. I ain't.
Exactly.
I'm not coming to you as Jody. I'm coming to you as
It's always Jody.
Jordan.
No, for sure. No, for sure. Like, so, like I said, I just want to love my woman for her imperfections, and I want to help her see her through through the seasons that you're talking about. It's just that, are they going to be receptive? Because some women, not all, some women be like, oh, well, I don't like that you talk back like this. I don't like that. Well, I'm like, well, what you want to?
I was going to ask that too, like, just basically the receptiveness, because, like, I feel like women, we also struggle with knowing how to communicate to y'all that we want to be helpful in your growth. Because, like, men are y'all have so much ego and so much pride versus women. If you're the type of woman that is cool with allowing a man to lead, like, it's okay, you'll be willing to take criticism, like, constructive criticism, and move forward. But it's like, how do you communicate that with a man? Men are very hard to say, man, I feel like you're a girl in this area.
I would say, tell me straight up. Personally, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a communications major, so tell me. Like, I'm more of a.
and
I was that far
and
off.
it's like and it's like it's like okay, broken things need
Hey,
fixed.
can you
so,
put this down for me? Real quick?
So
Appreciate you.
sometimes broken things need fixed. So
For sure.
sometimes you need broken down to be fixed. So I mean,
So I guess
sometimes you gotta get your feelings hurt. You gotta get your feelings hurt. It's
Yeah.
like, and sometimes it's better to get your feelings hurt by someone you care about because they're still going to stay around. Someone that don't give a fuck, they'll walk past like, you're dirty and you stink. And keep walking. If I care, I'm gonna be like, you dirty and you stink. Let's go get a shower. Let's go
Right.
figure out so that's the difference.
See, I'd be like,
so it depends on how much you like the girl or like how much you trust her.
I'd be like, like you a 1 out of
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
You a 1 out of 3. But
And
I
it's
did
one of them things where
You're 1 out of 3.
it's one of those things where being criticized, you should already know. It's something that I'm explaining to my children. It's like when someone comes with you with an opinion of how they've been observing you, you should understand that it's not going to make you happy all the time. Sometimes it's going to hurt your feelings because it's you're seeing yourself from someone else's point of view, and you see yourself as perfect every day when you wake up, especially when you're out moving around. You're not looking in the mirror all day. You're just living. So whenever someone comes and they give you their review of how they've been observing what you've been doing, it's not always going to be nice. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is.
I just like the value. Like I said, I was raised by a single mom, so the way I view girls is a lot different. Like, I don't like when girls say I don't want to work. I'm gonna be real. Nah.
I ain't never met one of them girls. See,
I have,
Yeah.
and it's
I've
terrible.
met some girls like that too.
I don't want to work. Guy's supposed to basically work hard, take care of the whole family, and die. That's not who I am. Like, I want to take care of my family. Don't get me wrong, but it's like certain people. Like, I had girls tell me some wild. Now, this is in LA. This ain't nothing great, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But
that's a different mindset.
that's a different
there.
mindset out there. But even some girls, some girls here have adapted that Kim Kardashian mindset, and I tell them, like, what do you bring to the table? And I'm being honest with you, because here I am. We don't have to list my accolades. We ain't got to do all that. I'm not here to tear you down.
But you're going to provide.
I can, but at the end of the day, if I have nothing. Like, I have nothing, I still know how to go and generate $1 the clean way. Like, I can pick up a camera and go make 500, 2,000. Like, for like a wedding, don't call me unless it's 2,000 and above.
Right.
But I'm okay to say that because I know what I can do to generate some money.
Right.
Like, I can go to anywhere and produce and help and market because I have that trade, I have that niche. But at the end of the day, like, what is it that you bring to the table? Because at the end of the day, I like you. I think you're phenomenal. I can help you with your business. I can help you with your endeavors. And I can help you emotionally. but can you be there for me? Can you hold it down? And what I mean by holding it down is just like, just be there. For me personally, I don't ask nothing from my girls. I don't ask nothing. I don't ask for no money.
So what would be? And I'm just playing devil's advocate. So what would be the difference if she doesn't want to work? Because like personally, I can't not work just because like the way my mind works. I got so many ideas and so many things I want to do. I have to be doing something. However, I know when I have kids, I want to give my all to my kids, at least for like the first 5 years of their life. Like I would love to be in a position where I'm married and we're stable and my businesses are generating to where I don't have to clock in or go anywhere in order to make money because I want to stay home with my kids.
Okay, if you want to stay home with your kids, not saying you, but like if you want to stay home with your kids and I'm out there providing and I'm doing like I'm just using it as an example. If I'm doing production, media and all that, be my assistant. I'm going to pay you. Like, okay, hey, this person, you're on social media, like everybody, not saying you personally, but like people was on social media. You see what's going on. You see the new trends. You see there's people reaching out. Oh, I need a wedding done. Oh, I need birthday photos. Be my assistant. Go in there and be not cheerleader. I mean, be in that sense. But
if I have a newborn for the first time ever, if you really think that I'm about to be picking up my phone, scrolling social media, you're out
you
of
got
your
a point.
mind.
You got a point there.
You're completely
you
out of your mind. If this is my first time taking care of a newborn, I'm probably not sleeping. This kid is feeding off me. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. You have to consider that because for the whole totality of our relationship, I might be working, but whenever I had them kids, you're going to have to come to your senses and realize, like, okay, she's not going to be working.
For sure.
At least for a year.
For sure.
I got to take care of my newborn.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean,
while you go out and provide. And then that cuts costs for child care. We're going to know for a fact that our kid is good. You know what I mean? Like
for
safety,
sure.
all that stuff. And then I'm still taking care of the house. So it's like, it's not like I'm sitting on my ass doing nothing.
I think every guy is okay with that.
Yeah, I'm great with that.
Like, if you told a guy who was like, not no Jody ass nigga, like,
yeah. I was about to say, I had my first kid at 20 years old, so we had to work.
Yeah, and
we had to work. But it's planned, like talking to people who don't have children. Yeah, absolutely. If that's your plan, stick with it. That's your plan. That's your plan. But there are people who have had children where like, you know, y'all were dating and then just out of nowhere
got pregnant.
Yeah,
I've
we're
worked
having
in
a child.
daycares
So.
and I've seen women have babies and have to bring their kids to daycare at 6 weeks old. You know, because they can't afford to not work. So it's like they'll literally have their kid had at 6 weeks just because that's the legal age that you can bring your kids to daycare, and they have to do that. And I'm like, if I'm married, I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah,
I want to be 6 weeks. You know how vulnerable a baby is.
Absolutely.
You know, I wouldn't want to be in that position. And it's like if we're planning for it and I'm following your lead. I could be your assistant up until like while I'm pregnant. I could be your assistant, whatever the case is, and just be prepared. But it's like I feel like some understanding got to come in there.
No, I'm with you on that, and like you said, that's the communication that comes into play.
Yeah.
But by all means, if you nursing my newborn, absolutely take as much time as you need off. I'm just saying, like, while you obviously like if the kid's down something like that, hey babe, I seen somebody need something. Great, let me do X, Y, Z. And now obviously I'm gonna have a job, but
while you're single, figuring it out, though.
Like
while you just be out of like your plan shouldn't be Saturday to have fun, weekend to have fun. With no job. That's basically what you're not looking for. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like if you're gonna go home and be the mom, do that 1,000%. I got your back. No problem. No questions asked. But like I said, like there's some people that just don't want to do nothing.
Yeah, like literally just want to be took care of like they're
and I was your princess. Yeah, and like I was raised by a single mom that worked 3 jobs. So the way that I view strong, especially strong black women, like strong woman took care of the whole family, no dad in my life, like it and still making it happen. Like I mean, it is what it is. That's why no complaints, just work ethic, man, and that's where I get it from. That's why like I wouldn't say I have an excuse for because I can't speak for a woman in that aspect of labor and all. I can't speak for that. But when it comes to women, like, oh, I don't want to do anything, my mom will slap the shit out of me, bro. I'm just being honest. Like, my mom would slap me like, what you mean she don't want to do nothing? Like, you seen what yes, ma'am, I did. I did. But it's like, that's what I think the value comes in.
Yeah.
And ultimately, whenever you're trying to, like, pursue, like, having a child with somebody, like, I know whenever my have a child senses is going off, I'm like, if I was to go and I wasn't able to be around, would she be able to still raise my child with the same moral compass that I would
That's
try to,
that's
like,
the realest shit right
You know
there.
what I mean? And if it can't happen, then it's like I really can't pursue that with you. But because I want a certain standard for like my kid. Like I waited
sure.
this long. I ain't about to try to raise no YN. If I
Right,
wait,
sure, for
right.
sure.
I'm an old ass nigga about to raise a YN. It's like, bro, you're 40 and your son is jumping off the porch.
Yeah, no.
That's
Bro,
where the
whoop his
teamwork comes
ass.
in.
ASAP.
That's where that teamwork come in, because I believe in that wholeheartedly. Like, even how you were saying, if I was having a kid and I'm like, all right, look, I'm not working, just know this, that if something ever happened to you, I'm able to hold it down. Like,
For sure.
I know exactly how everything's ran. You know, I'm just as educated, just as able to boots on the ground, all that stuff. Like, we're not going to miss a beat just because something happened to you and you're hurt or whatever the case is. So, yeah. But I do have a word of advice before we stop this topic, that as far as like comparison, no, you got to realize nobody's going to be your mother. So
For
don't
sure.
ever set yourself up to
For
look
sure.
for your mother and a woman. Like, I understand that's your comfort zone, but somebody could actually do a better job than your mother. And her views might be different, so you got to give her space to do that. Like, everybody thinks, oh, my mom is just the best, and that's not the truth in reality. You know what I mean? I love my mom too. We all feel that way, but in reality, you have to have your own plan with your own partner and make sure y'all execute that y'all way, not your parents' way.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I rock with the way.
I'm wrong with that.
Hey, the way you just now closed that out, it was
I
just
loved
like
it.
it hit me so hard. I'm like, all right, come through
He's
relationship
dramatic.
values.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got this topic.
And it's like every man,
Yeah, I loved it.
probably between us, every man done been here where we've been in a disagreement with a female and we've tried to compare them to our mother, and they looked at us and probably been like,
You ain't
I
nothing
ain't
like my dad. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
Yeah,
you ain't nothing like my dad.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck? My
Nah.
dad got money. It'd be like,
Yikes.
Hey, Will.
all right, I ain't like you. I
Yeah.
get what you mean. I get what you
and
mean.
now you trying to clock her
I'll,
dad's
I'll beat
teeth.
your dad up
Like,
though. Like, you
I heard-
can't fight. Your dad a rat.
Hey, man.
and I heard your dad really be laying hands on women for real. That mean, but we ain't gonna clock that day.
We ain't
We ain't
clocking
gonna
that.
clock
We ain't clocking
I
that.
ain't doing all that.
Yikes.